Hey, careful with that.
Sorry, Mr. Maroni.
Don't be sorry, just don't be an idiot. You ever heard the phrase, you break it, you bought it?
Yes, sir.
Alright, fellas, let's try and put a little more hustle into your bustles. I'd like to get out of here before...
Oh, Sally boy! You in a hurry or something?
Oh, great.
I thought we were supposed to be doing some business tonight. Don't tell me you were trying to cut me out.
Will you be quiet? You're making yourself a liability.
Maybe I need a little something to quell these hurt feelings of mine for the fact that it looked like you were trying to cut me out of this drop. I'd hate for my boss to have to call your boss about this, if that were true. Something tells me any retribution we might ask for would probably be compounded with blood as interest.
You really think it's smart trying to leverage things with me? The Roman's right-hand man?
I don't exactly see you calling my bluff, so... Are we doing this or what?
Alright. Here you go, you big ape. Although I'll never understand why Loeb and Falcone give so much leeway to someone like you.
Loeb trusts me, and that loyalty is good enough for Mr. Falcone. See, Sal, you call yourself his right hand, but I'm the one with the inside track to make something of myself if I play my cards right.
Don't be fooling yourself, Flass. You may think you have freedom, but I guarantee your leash is a lot shorter than mine.
If that were true, you'd be sitting next to the Romans sipping margaritas at Club Nero right now. Not down here doing the grunt work with the rest of these goons.
At least I actually work for the man who runs the city, not somewhere 3 levels down the chain. Working together may be unavoidable, but don't let that get you thinking that you're better than me. Just another bottom feeder like everyone else that relies on the Roman.
At least I don't have to rely on a constant stream of second chances to keep me alive. Which one are you on again now, Sal? Second chance number 50?
You loudmouth piece of... What the hell was that?
One of you guys get clumsy, maybe?
Probably. Hey! What part of you break it, you bought it, did you idiots not... Holy shit!
What's going on? What happened to them?
I got no idea. But keep your head on a swivel, and holler if you see something.
Think someone else could be here?
I don't know. But if there is, they're about to seriously regret that decision.
Mr. Maroni? Is something wrong, sir?
You might have an uninvited guest here, Trent. So get your gun and shoot anything that moves.
But, sir,
Jesus!
What the hell was that? How did they get over there? Sal, what the hell?
Whoever you are, you're making a big mistake messing with me. You know who I work for? He ain't gonna be happy with you screwing around with his operations in his city. Huh. Maybe I got it.
Sal? Sal? To hell with this. I'm out of here. Shit. What? What is that thing? The hell? Wait, where did that thing...
You cannot run from me.
Stay the hell away from me.
You cannot harm me.
No, please, no.
There's no escape from what comes next.
What do you want?
I need you to send a message to the scum that think they own this city. Gotham is mine.
CBW Productions and the Knighthood Project present Batman, Year One. Written by Wyatt Bowden. Edited by Joseph E.W. Produced by CBW and the Knighthood Project.
Hey, hon. Sorry I'm home late. First, they kept me waiting for over an hour and a half past my appointment at the doctor's office. Then I had to deal with the rush hour traffic.
Surprise.
What's all this?
Well, with all the busy hours I've had to keep at the station for the last couple of months, I thought it'd be nice for us to finally have a date night.
Jim, you really didn't have to do this.
I absolutely did. Now come on over and have a seat. I'm just putting the finishing touches on the food before I bring it out.
Are you sure you don't need any help?
Are you doubting my culinary abilities?
No, never. But if that meal you cooked for me after I got here is anything to go by...
I'll have you know my grandmother gave me this recipe on her deathbed.
Not Grammy Gordon's famous spaghetti surprise.
The very one. The only surprise, though, is that I didn't burn the house down while cooking this.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, Barb. I just locked up for a sec, that's all.
Jesus, you're tense.
I'll be fine, hon. I just need to...
You need to lie down so I can massage that sore spot before you lock up any more tonight.
But Barb, I just...
Now, detective.
Yes, dear.
There. Isn't that much better?
It is. But... I should be the one massaging you, though. You're the one with the child.
Yeah, I'm with child. Not debilitated or handicapped. Besides, you can just make it up to me later. With foot rubs and wine.
Oh, can I now? Yes, ma'am. Damn it. I thought I turned that off. Just ignore it.
But what if it's something important? I'll just go answer it. You stay there. Jim Gordon's phone. Oh, hey, Merkel. What's... Are you sure? Merkel says Loeb needs you down at the station.
Tell Merkel he couldn't reach me.
He says he's tried that already, but Loeb isn't taking no for an answer. He says it's either you come in or Loeb's coming here to get you.
What the hell could be so urgent?
Apparently, Flass was attacked down by Dixon docks.
Good for him. Why the hell should I care?
Jim.
Do they even know who did it?
He said something about a giant bat?
All right, I'm getting up. Tell him I'll be there in 20.
Hey, Merkel, Jim said... Oh, good. You heard him. Thank you. You too.
I'm sorry, Barb.
It's okay. The pasta will keep. So will the foot rubs and wine. Now go on. Go be you.
Yes, ma'am. When I got to the station, the whole place was buzzing from what had happened to Flass. It's not like anyone actually gives a damn about what happens to him. They're all just probably worried that they could be next. What can I say? Karma's a bitch. I decided to spend the rest of the night doing actual research, since date night was a bust. Apparently there's been a couple dozen reports filed through operations the past week about this bat creature. The operators thought they were cranks, so they just wrote them off as unimportant and didn't bother mentioning anything until now. Not that I blame them. After reading through all the call logs, though, I definitely think it's just some guy playing dress-up. Why he chooses to dress up like a bat is beyond me. But that little stunt he pulled at Dixon docks definitely caused enough of a stir with Loeb's real boss, that he's decided to put me and Essen in charge of an anti-vigilante task force. Loeb doesn't believe the bat is real. He's just trying to save face with the so-called Roman of Gotham. And what better way to do that than by placing his two best officers in charge of the situation? I know he's only using it as an excuse to reprimand me further, if we don't produce results. But at least the task force position came with a better partner and a promotion, Lieutenant. I feel the promotion is just Loeb's way of trying to keep me quiet about the parking garage incident from a couple months ago. And that's fine. I'll keep my mouth shut. For now.
All right, settle down. In the last week alone, there have been more than a dozen calls logged about an undebutized citizen performing multiple acts of vigilante justice on other civilians. This so-called Batman has been putting a beating onto anyone from your average street pusher to alleged mafiosos.
I got a question.
Yes, Officer Mendez.
Why the hell should we care about some loony in a fright mask putting the hurt on some scumbags? Sounds to me like he's doing our job for us.
This may be a foreign concept to you, Mendez, but it is against the law to take it into your own hands. Whether these people are receiving their retribution or not isn't for us or this Batman to decide. Someone like this is a danger to the city, who needs to be treated as such. Do we understand each other? Good. What do we have so far, Essen?
Apart from what I've already told you about the call logs, the only other thing we have thus far is that all of these attacks took place at night, which means this bat guy seems to only operate after the sun sets.
Well, that does at least give us a start on how to track him. We could even attempt to lure him out using his own time schedule against him.
My thoughts exactly. Anyone who encounters the Batman should consider him armed and dangerous. If you see him, you are to immediately call for backup.
He ain't human.
What was that, Flass?
I said he ain't human. I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. Just look at what he did to me. I gotta wear this damn brace for 6 weeks because of him.
All right, Flass. Since you're the only credible source that's actually seen him...
Incredible is a generous word.
Then perhaps you can expound further on your interaction with the monster.
You serious?
Evidently. The floor's all yours, big guy.
Well, it's like I said in my report. I was off duty and taking in the ocean air down by the docks when I suddenly found myself stumbling in on an illegal cocaine shipment.
Sure. Stumbled.
Anyway, just as I was proceeding to place all the suspects under arrest, the bat came out of nowhere and attacked Maroni's men before I could handcuff them. He swooped in like a shadow, grabbed up Maroni, and took him into the truck before I could even react. I'm telling the truth. And after he was finished with Maroni, he tried coming after me. I tried to get away, but he busted up my windshield and tossed me out of the car. I tried to pull out my piece, and he disarmed me with some weird projectile that came out of his hand. He got right in my face and growled at me. He beat me to a pulp and then vanished into the shadows it came from. Come on, you guys gotta believe me.
All right, everyone, settle down. Now, whether this Batman is man or myth, we do need to at least take Detective Flass's injuries into consideration while being out on patrol. Remember, you see anything with a cape or wings, you do not pursue on your own. Call it in to Sergeant Merkel, who will then relay it to Lieutenant Essen or myself. Is that understood? All right then. Dismissed.
You find something funny, Jimmy?
Only cosmically. I think it's interesting that you found yourself targeted and injured twice in a matter of just a couple of months.
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Is that right? Well, I suggest you stay out of those places so you don't keep costing us thousands in workman's comp for hospital bills that could have been avoided. Next time it happens, you're being placed on administrative leave without pay.
Are you shitting me? Jimmy, you can't...
I absolutely can if you continue making yourself a liability to the department. And it's Lieutenant now. Detective.
Fine. Whatever.
You're enjoying yourself with this promotion, aren't you?
Maybe just a little bit. So, what do you think of his story?
His story about how he was pursuing suspects alone while off duty? He's so full of it. He hardly even pursues anyone when he's actually on the clock.
Well, obviously. I meant the part about this Batman, if that's really what we're calling him.
I don't know what to think, honestly. It all just feels so odd. I mean, why would anyone in this city choose to play dress-up and fight criminals?
I mean, you heard the way Flass was talking about him. It could be a fear tactic. Scare him half to death before beating the hell out of him.
Could be that. Or maybe he's just some lunatic in a costume with anger issues.
Oh, I never said I thought he was sane. Honestly, this whole situation is just one big pile of crazy.
I hear that.
I guess there's no point wasting any more time on this than we need to until something else happens. I'm gonna go ahead and head out for the night.
Damn it!
Something wrong?
My mechanic just texted me that my car is gonna have to stay in the shop for a few more days.
You want me to call you a cab?
Don't bother. It always takes forever to hail one at this time. Hey, Jim, would you maybe mind giving me a lift home and maybe to work for the next couple of days?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, why not? After all, I still owe you one.
Okay. Then I'll go grab my stuff so we can go. Thanks, Jim. You're the best.
Dude, what are we even gonna do with all this junk?
The hell do you mean, what are we gonna do with it? We're gonna take it down to the pawn shop and sell it.
Is this stuff even worth anything?
You see some of those medals in there? Those have gotta be worth at least a couple grand.
I guess. How did you even know about all this?
My grandma has me check in on this old geezer a couple times a week to make sure he's still breathing. Now keep it down and help me figure out how to get this stuff down the fire escape. He may be half deaf, but I'm not taking any chances on getting caught.
Too late.
What the hell?
No, stay away from me.
Damn crazy freak! I'll teach you to mess with us. No.
Now I gotcha. Don't let me fall! Please!
Hang on! What are you doing? I'm trying to help!
Chris, stop! I'm gonna die if you let's go!
And let this punk make a fool out of me? Sorry, man. Not a chance.
Come on, Bruce. Keep it together. You're not gonna let that punk kid beat you down? Of course not. I just need to find an opening.
You saved me.
Yeah, I did. That almost ended poorly. Stupid amateur. Lucky amateur.
He did what to the cocaine?
He dumped it into the harbor, sir.
He dumped it. All 20 crates. You expect me to believe that one guy took down 6 armed men and threw my drugs into the harbor all on his own?
Carmine. Sweetie. Your blood pressure...
I know about my damn blood pressure, right? I know. Thank you, amore mio. So, what do we know about this so-called Batman?
Shouldn't you be asking Loeb about this? I mean, I'm sure the GCPD knows something about this guy.
I'm not asking, Gil, I'm asking you. Now come on, what do we know about this nutcase?
Honestly, sir... nothing. Holy shit!
Nothing? You're telling me that with all our resources that we have at our disposal, police included, we don't know anything about some Looney Tune who runs around the city dressed like a bat?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Falcone. Before the other night, I didn't even know he existed.
Well, then you better find out something before he strikes again. You understand me? I want him found, and I want him dealt with before he makes himself any more of a nuisance to my operations.
Yes, sir.
And, speaking of things becoming a nuisance, I got one more thing I need to make you aware of.
Sir?
This isn't the first or second time I've had to bail you out of a jam, Sal. If you screw up to where you find yourself behind bars again, I will leave you there. We clear?
As crystal, sir.
Good. Now get the hell out of my house.
Honestly, dear, I don't know why you tolerate someone like him.
Sal's a good soldier. He knows his place and does what he's told. That kind of loyalty is hard to come by.
I know he means well, but all dealing with him does is frustrate and irritate you. I hate seeing you get so tense with worry.
I appreciate you looking out for me, but right now the only thing causing me worry is this bat character that seemingly peered out of the woodworks.
Well, sounds to me like you could use a distraction.
Such as?
I was thinking, maybe it would be nice to throw a little dinner party. It's been a while since we've seen all our friends.
That's because they only come by if they need something. That's not a friend, that's a business associate.
Then, think of this as an excuse to flaunt your power. If this Batman is hitting your business, then it would be a good idea to show them you are unafraid in the face of someone challenging your authority.
That's certainly not the worst idea. But you're just wanting an excuse to show off the remodeled dining area, aren't you?
With how much we pay to beautify it, it deserves to be seen. So, if we're both in agreement, then I'll go ahead and get started on making invitations. Who knows? This could be a good opportunity to see who's standing with you and who isn't.
Yeah. It would be nice to finally know where certain people stand.
Here, let me help.
I've got it.
I really don't think you do. Look, you haven't even pulled the bandages tight enough for... Bruce, you are gifted with many talents. Patching yourself up has never been one of them.
I can do just fine.
What is it I once said about playing our parts in this plan of yours? I believe this also falls into mine. Please, allow me to help you, sir.
All right.
And how exactly did these bruises come to be?
I was dealing with a couple of home invaders.
Home invaders did this?
They were just punk kids, really. We were on a fire escape and one of them lost his footing. The other one took advantage while I was trying to save his friend.
Some friend. Still, though, you were fighting children, sir.
I didn't hurt them, if I didn't have to. I just incapacitated them.
I see.
I'll have to ask Lucius if he has any sort of design for forearm bracers lying around. The one that almost fell did a pretty good number on my arms with a pipe. If he doesn't, we'll have to see if he can whip something up with a little flair that adds to this whole bat motif.
Flair, sir?
The suit always needs to be functional, but criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. If we're adding to it, then we should continue on the track that makes them the most afraid. You're a lifesaver, Alfred. I can hardly feel the pain anymore. Maybe one of these nights you can show me how you do it. Alfred?
Oh, do forgive me, sir, but I seem to be finding myself lost upon a sea of thought.
What's on your mind?
Well, it's just... have you given any thought to this mission of yours in the long term?
What do you mean?
I mean, have you ever stopped to think of a life beyond that pointed cowl of yours?
If anything, finding my way to this cowl has enhanced whatever I thought this mission was before.
Yes, but what does all this do for you? How long do you plan to sit in this cave wearing that outfit? When does this mission finally end, in your mind?
When Gotham is safe again.
But that could take years. Do you really think this is the life they wanted for you?
They're dead, Alfred. I don't know what they would have wanted. I won't ever really know about any thoughts they had about my life, because they're gone. They were taken in a senseless act of violence
that no one could have stopped.
Someone like me could have stopped it.
Bruce.
You want the truth? The truth is I don't have a plan for what comes next right now. All I have is this suit, this cave, and the skills I've spent over a decade building for this moment. I may not know what comes after, but I know Gotham needs someone like me out there.
Someone like you?
Someone who's unafraid to stand up to people like Falcone and his army of corrupt officials. Someone who won't turn a blind eye to the suffering of this city. Someone who will make sure another kid never has to lose his parents in a dark alleyway just because they wanted to take a shortcut.
Bruce, I just wish... You know, I didn't want to complain when you insisted we work out of this damp cave.
Huh. And yet, I can recall several very loud comments that you made about it.
And I even tried to mind myself when you told me that you planned to dress as a bat to achieve your overall goal.
I believe you complained about that part the most.
But this mission of yours, Bruce, this drive you have to complete it, it feels more like a vengeful obsession than a benevolent intention.
Alfred, I know how this looks. I know that I sound crazy talking about all of this, but you have to trust me when I say that this is all about justice.
Even against Carmine Falcone and whatever involvement he may have had in your parents' deaths.
About that, the night I decided to become the Bat, I remembered something about my parents. Something I must have blocked out because of what happened after the movie. Falcone didn't kill them.
He didn't? But how could you possibly know that?
The night my parents died, him and my father had a falling out, right?
Well, yes.
When Falcone talked to me at the party, he said he had blamed himself for what happened, and at the time I was grasping at straws, hoping it meant there was a bigger connection. But I realized he never felt guilty because he had done anything wrong. He only felt guilty because he let their differing ideologies end their friendship before they died.
Are you certain about that?
My father was going to run for mayor, and that terrified Falcone. But he would never have harmed his oldest friend. He respected him way too much to ever hurt him intentionally.
It still doesn't necessarily mean he's innocent.
Oh, he absolutely isn't. Even if he wasn't behind the man who pulled the trigger, his actions fostered a toxic environment where men like that mugger were able to thrive and make the innocent people of this city afraid. I want this mission and this suit to give this city a symbol.
A symbol?
A symbol that tells them they don't have to be afraid anymore. A symbol that means hope for them, while putting the fear of God in those who would prey on them.
But even so, Master Bruce, do you really intend to make this change happen one thief and mugger at a time?
Look, I know it may be an unorthodox method, but I want to try and fight for the Gotham my father believed in. I swore on their graves that I would dedicate my life to helping the broken and the used. And after all these years, I finally feel like I've found my path to honor that vow.
Then, if this is the path you truly feel you must take, I would at least like to ask that you promise me one thing.
Name it.
That you don't try so hard to avenge your parents, but you end up sharing their fate. I don't know if I could possibly bear having to bury another Wayne.
I can certainly try my best.
Splendid. Then I shall put in the request to Mr. Fox about your forearm protection, and if you turn to your right, you will see a plate of food that I've brought down for you. Nothing to help soothe a bruised body like a warm meal.
Alfred.
Yes, Master Bruce?
Your comment about making change happen, one mugger and thief at a time, may not have been a bad criticism. I may need to start thinking a bit bigger if I want to really make a difference.
Meaning?
That in order to really make sure I'm known by the whole criminal underworld, I should try to make the big fish just as afraid as the small fish in this pond.
What did you have in mind, sir?
Didn't we just get an RSVP earlier tonight for a dinner party at the Falcone compound?
Yes. As I recall, the party is happening tomorrow evening. Are you actually planning to attend?
Oh, I'll be in attendance. Just not in the way Falcone will be hoping for.
Oh, Carmine, Marianna, you've set such a lovely table this evening.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely quite the spread.
I appreciate your kindness, but all your gratitude should be aimed at my lovely paramour. She was the one who planned all of this and made everything look so lovely. Even the design scheme for our newly decorated dining area was all picked by her.
Oh, Carmine, you know how to make a girl feel special.
I will say I wish that Mr. Wayne had been able to make it here tonight.
Oh, his loss.
Charlie, don't talk with your mouth full.
So I guess that's my answer on where he stands. Shame.
What was that, dear?
Oh, I was just agreeing with Charlie's sentiment. As it is truly his loss that he's chosen not to be here in this room with all of us for whatever reason tonight. You know, he wants to try and change Gotham, but he chose to avoid a room full of its most influential people. I guess he just likes doing things the hard way.
Like father, like son.
I suppose so. Do you really have to make that much noise while you eat, Gil?
I'm sorry. Is something wrong, Carmine?
So, Gil, have you seen this Batman the news media is raving about?
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're buying into all that superstitious nonsense.
What's to be superstitious about? He's just a lowlife vigilante who likes to put a scare into people. Nothing more.
If that were true, I feel you would have a better handle on this, Gil. After all, handling problems is what my husband pays you for, right?
Well, it's not like I...
Oh, don't be too hard on him, Marianna. Gil's had his hands full enough these days trying to keep his own house in order.
Carmine, what exactly are you talking about?
You didn't know? Apparently, your hero cop has been pushing internal affairs to go after Flass since you promoted him.
He's doing what? Don't you worry about Gordon. I'll have him handled.
You better. Despite my general distaste for the man, Flass is loyal, and that loyalty would be very, difficult to replace.
You let me worry about these things, Carmine. As your lovely wife just pointed out, it's what you pay me for.
But Gordon
is like a dog chasing cars. That's all. He thinks he wants to catch the bumper, and he'll do whatever he can to try and grasp it. But he never will, no matter how fast he runs after it.
Then, how exactly do you divert someone like that's attention?
By giving them a different bumper to chase. Right now, I have him heading up the vigilante task force we set up to track this Batman fellow.
Oh, you mean the Fotute task force that answers more crank calls than it does any actual work?
It may not seem like work to you, but it's keeping Gordon from pursuing things that could interfere with us. And whether he actually catch this Batman or not, isn't that what's really important here? You just need to give it some time. Gordon will hang himself with his own noose sooner or later.
I guess, but
Honestly, I don't even know why you would want him caught, Carmine. With him taking out so much of your competition, business should be booming in your direction.
Yeah, and crime has actually gone down more in the last month than it has in 5 years. Hell, Gil, you might want to consider giving this Batman a jump.
Need I remind you, all of you, in fact, that a vigilante busting down on any crime in this city is bad for business? Do I also need to remind you that whatever is bad for business for me is even worse for your bottom lines? Yeah, that's what I thought. Sure, as bad as taking out the small-timers now. But that means it won't be long until he decides to work his way up the ladder to me. Who's gonna be happy about him being around then,
You shouldn't get so worked up over this, Carmine. You'll give yourself high blood pressure.
You're awfully calm all of a sudden, considering you have made absolutely no progress on locating this freak.
Well, that's because the more I think about it, the more I begin to think of the big picture. I mean, what has this Batman really done? He's stopped some lucrative interests, to be sure, but other than that, it's only been a few muggings here, a home invasion there.
My shipment at Dixon docks!
Which is a tragedy. But other than that one instance, he's pretty much left you alone. As Charlie says, crime is down and now the people are feeling much safer outside their doors, which opens new opportunities for you. Isn't that more important than one shipment?
And the safer they feel, the less questions they voice to the police, which makes things easier for you. Right, Gil?
I still don't like it. There's an order to things in Gotham, and this vigilante nonsense goes against everything I've worked for.
Try not to dwell on tomorrow and what may or may not happen. Instead, try to enjoy the present. For instance, this lovely meal you've laid out before us. We're at the top, Carmine. Some freak in a costume running around the city doesn't change that.
I hate to admit it, but he's right, dear.
I guess so. I just... Wait. Do, any of you smell that?
Smell what?
What the hell is this?
It's tear gas!
What happened to the light? Oh, the light!
Carmine, please do something!
Everybody calm down. We're not gonna get to the bottom of this by losing our... You think you can mess with me, freak?
Sit down, Falcone.
Oh, I don't think...
Carmine, please.
So, you gonna tell us what this is about, or you're just gonna stand there?
I've come to bring you all a message. Ladies, gentlemen, you've eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit. But your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe.
You think you can come into my home, threaten me, and just get to walk away? Oh, no, you don't!
Carmine! Sweetie, let me have a look at you.
I'm fine, damn it!
That was your only warning. After tonight, I'll be coming for you.
You'll be coming for me, huh? Fine. Bring it on. Batman Year One stars Cliff Jones as Bruce Wayne, Henry Schultz as Jim Gordon, David Webb as Alfred Pennyworth, James Lorenz as Arnold Flass, Amber Bullock as Sarah Essen, Kari Lee as Barbara Gordon, Mr. Eli Mac as Commissioner Loeb, Christopher Z as Salvatore Maroni, with Wyatt Bowden as Carmine Falcone, and Colima Acevedo as Marianna Falcone. Featuring additional voices by Joseph Bozlinski, Kari Lee, Alex B., Jake Johnston, Jeremy Tucker, and Wyatt Bowden. Story written and directed by Wyatt Bowden. Music scored by Ryn Weatherford. Audio edited by Doomarang. Audio sound effects engineered and edited by Joseph E.W. Series art by Evan Collin and the Knighthood Project. Series produced by CBW Productions and the Knighthood Project. When the night is darkest just before the dawn, so too will the night rise. Batman Year One will return.